It's Tottenham 2, Liverpool 2. Huge controversy in this game. Harry Kane escaping what many believe was a clear red card. Robertson, after getting and putting Liverpool in front, gets himself sent off with a nasty kick out at Emerson Royale. The game finishes 2-2. Spurs back after a number of games away with COVID. Advantage Manchester City as Liverpool lose ground in this after this game. Loads to jump into, loads to delve into as well. Penalty claims, Mo Salah's handball leading up to the goal, Robbo's red card, the red card that Harry Kane escaped. Make sure that like button has been smashed. This is the Football Terrace for the ultimate fan match reaction. Let's go.
Absolutely magnificent.
Let me just start off by saying what a privilege it was to watch that game of football. It's why it's the best league. It's why Super Sunday is the best day of the week for football. Put all other sports aside, darts, NFL, Formula One, tennis, netball, I don't care. The premier sport we just witnessed there again. Trials, tribulations, excitement, brilliant, stupidity, aggression, anger, and everything in between. The only real winners today, barring the fans are always the winners in games like this. Manchester City, who get a huge opportunity, or they have, because they won today. They've extended their league lead at the top. There's a little bit of clear daylight now between them and Liverpool. Only 3 points. Exact same goal difference, but that 3 points is big. And then you've got that 6 point gap they've got over Chelsea at this time as well. But there's so much to delve into. Cannot wait to bring the panel out later. I'd love to get the panel out straight away, but no one's ever ready straight after a game. I'm a little bit too quick as a general rule. But I want to gauge your views and I want to get your opinions. I know there's going to be a lot of angry fans. I know there's going to be a lot of frustration from Liverpool's standpoint. So many controversies during this game. The first one started just after Liverpool went a goal down. Spurs were leading. Harry Kane, should he have been sent off? Was this tackle, in your opinion, a red card offense? I think most people have stated they think that it is. I personally feel that he got very, very lucky indeed to not pick up a red card. Fortunately, Robertson's foot wasn't planted on the ground. Otherwise, this could have been very, very dangerous. There's no doubt at all about that. Liverpool then had a penalty claim denied for a kind of nudge in the back from Emerson Royale. Of course, you can see by the shape of the legs that Jota goes down easily, but these were being given last week. Why not this week? What was the difference there? Spurs fans felt very aggrieved when Mo Salah clearly handled the ball, heads the ball down onto his hand. This forced a save from Hugo Lloris. After that save from Hugo Lloris, the ball's put into the back of the net after an excellent sort of cross-come shot from Trent. But Spurs fans incensed. They feel that it is a clear handball. Why was the game allowed to continue from there? The rule around what constitutes handball in the build-up to a goal does seem very, very murky to some people. They took the lead. Spurs then equalised, and then Robertson with a stupid kick out at Emerson Royale. Absolutely no need for this whatsoever. And as soon as you saw the replay, you could tell it wasn't a challenge. It wasn't mistimed. It wasn't stupid. It was stupid and it was aggressive. And he gets himself sent off with a clear red card there. Will miss the next 3 games for Liverpool. Loads to delve into and talk to you all about this evening on the Football Terrace. I want to go to some super chats that have come in here. Maria Williams says that was stress. Kane should have been sent off. We created more and played well. Missed the chances as a point each is fair. No free hit here. Come on, you Spurs. I will say that about Tottenham. They were very good today. And it's one of the reasons why I told people, forget what they're doing in the Conference League. It does not matter. What they're going to do in the Premier League under Antonio Conte is key, and their record with him in the Premier League so far has been very good indeed. KC says, Trent, never to be compared to Lama Alves. Can't defend is what KC has got to say here. It's what KC believes is the case. Let's do some more of these super chats coming through. Harry Kane got away without a red card. I hate Liverpool, but he should have gotten the red card. Any other player and they get a red, he's never treated the same. I'll be honest with you. Every England captain in my living memory has been given preferential treatment. Tony Adams used to get it. Sol Campbell used to get it. Beckham used to get it. John Terry used to get it. Gerrard got it when he was England captain. And so does Harry Kane. They will feel aggrieved by that. I totally get it. I totally do. But I think both sets of fans have got reasons to feel frustrated with the officiating today. There's no doubt. Fair result, I guess, in the end. Red card. Clear red card for Kane and clear pen for Jota, in my opinion. Defense was largely leaky today. Frustrating point, but we move. I think what's really key about Liverpool's defending today, huge about Liverpool's defending. If I ever hear any talk about they're just as good without Van Dijk, Matip's at Van Dijk level, or Konate, they're all very good players. That team without Virgil van Dijk isn't Liverpool. They cannot defend anywhere near the same standard without him. They were ripped apart on. So I think Spurs' XG today was like 2.3 or something, which is massive. If Harry Kane could actually finish, the maddest bit is Harry Kane actually scored his hardest chance. Go figure. Some of the opportunities he missed, it could have been quite embarrassing for Tottenham today if Harry Kane was on fire. Those chances were falling to Mo Salah. If those chances were falling to Cristiano Ronaldo, if those chances had fallen to a Jamie Vardy. On this form, if they'd have fallen to Martinelli, it would have been 2 or 3 goals easily for Tottenham today. So, yeah, Harry Kane can hang his head. I know he scored, but there's a little bit of shame from him today. Should have got a red card and missed some serious sitters. Is the phrase getting a penalty? The phrase isn't getting a penalty, but thank you very, very much indeed for that. Make sure that like button is being smashed, by the way, people. Get that smash right about now. Absolute chaos. Kane should have seen red too. Jota should have had a pen. Second shouldn't have stood. Take a pen, take a point, but we need more consistency is what Daniel said. Yeah, I'm really confused. If someone can come on the show tonight and explain the handball rule to me. They've got to make it. I understand that I don't understand it, if I'm being honest. The law doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Someone said if Robertson would have handballed it and then like he would have gone down and he'd have kicked it in with his leg, then it wouldn't have stood. Or if Salah heads the ball onto his hand and it falls down by his feet and then he puts it in with his foot, it's no goal. But yet that same handball movement can create a save from the keeper, which gives the ball to Trent, who crosses it and scores. It's allowed. I am confused by it. I'm not saying it was the wrong decision, but the law confuses me. So I don't understand it. So it's very hard for me to criticize or praise in either direction, because you should never criticize or praise things that you have no comprehension of. That is a sign of a stupid prick. The midfield today was more an issue than Van Dijk being missing. Milner's passing was shocking, and Naby just back from injury is what Tyrone has got to say here. So no real issue with the defense, according to Tyrone here, just more the midfield being a problem for Liverpool Football Club. Xander here. Both teams had controversial decisions, I think you mean. With Liverpool starting midfield today and a red card, 2-2 is a fair point, to be honest. Could have been worse for Liverpool. I think a lot of Liverpool fans would agree with you on that. I would say this, though. I still think your starting 11 and midfield was better than Tottenham's. Like, with respect. Still better than... They had Winks and Dele Alli playing. They had Winks and Dele Alli playing. Dele Alli played well today, to be fair. Best performance I've seen from him in a long, long time, if I'm being honest. Should have scored, though. That was a great save from Alisson, but the goalie went early. Stink it to the other side, mate. A confident Ali of 3 years ago would have scored that. Man of the match, Alisson, is what Joshua's got to say here. But I'm going to bring out the beginning of my panel because I want to get into these massive talking points today with what's been going on. I really, really do. Nearly 2,000 of you watching is great. We've got Dom Hussim here. We've got Ram in the house. We've got Jess Black as well here with us. We have shared the link with a lot more people. I don't know what people are at playing at anymore. I don't know. I think their wives have come down on like a ton of bricks and, oh, no, you can't go on streams anymore. No. I don't know where they're at. I don't know what they're doing, but these are the games we love to digest. Hit that like and share button. Let's get the panel out now, people. Let's go. Afternoon, all. What an exhilarating game. I want to go to the Liverpool fans first. Ram, give me your thoughts, bruv.
Yo, even if it was an exhilarating game, I don't want to see that ever again. I really don't. Like, I know Liverpool like to do this, but for me, I just want a nice, simple, and easy game to watch. But for me, I think I don't know what to think. That game had everything. Had a red card, dodgy decisions, goals, attacking, flowing football. It had everything. But I think the best that we can get is a draw. And for the overall sort of like scheme of things in terms of the league table, nothing really changes. If we win and Man City lose, we're on top of them. That's it's always been like that. So in the overall grand scheme of things, I think a point is decent given the circumstances as well.
I hear you. How about yourself, Dom? I'm going to bring Alan in as well now. It's good to have a bit of a little Spurs rep in here as well. We've got to get Spurs rep in for this. A mad game, Sam. Like, give me your take, bro.
Lord have mercy on my soul. I think I just spoke a little bit too much before this game. I'm going to have a hard time on spaces. But look, when it comes to this game, first of all, I think if we're being completely honest, a draw was the fair result. I'm not even going to lie. The Premier League referees, though, 100% need to be drug tested. There's inconsistencies in the game. My opinion, Harry Kane's tackle was worse than Robertson's tackle. It was also a red card. There was a foul on Jota that was a penalty. Given the context of the game, though, look, 1 point away with 10 men at Tottenham, it's not that deep, in my opinion. We are still in the title race. We're not going to throw our toys out the pram like a certain fan base. We still are in the title race. Look, had Man City drew today and we won, it wouldn't have exactly what Ram said. It wouldn't have made that much of a massive difference anyway. It's a title race and it's going to go to the wire. Results like this will happen to City, will happen to Chelsea throughout the entire season. Today, though, the one disappointing thing was our defending. I thought we didn't defend well at all. Going forward, we were much better, but defensively, we weren't good. And it's the midfield as well. Like, it's not necessarily the defensive sort of center backs. It's more the midfield. It's just the midfielders themselves that aren't really controlling the game. And I do agree with what you said at the start. I listened to you. I agree with you. Van Dijk makes a massive difference. Matip and Konate are apt centre backs, but Matip and Konate, with all due respect, are not Van Dijk's level. So he does make a difference. That's like, even you as watching United from like 15 years ago, Wes Brown was okay for Rio Ferdinand for 4 or 5 games, but when you take it like from an overall perspective, Ferdinand was like probably 10 levels above, and this is the same situation we're going through right now with Van Dijk and Fabinho, who are probably 2 of our most pivotal 5 players. However, look, no complaints, no excuses. I said the draw was a fair result. I think this entire game, the only correct decision the referee made was the Delhi not getting a penalty. That's it. Everything else was wrong in both directions, in my opinion. Like, I think the referee just had a massive howler, and this is just a proper Barclays game, man. Proper Barclays.
You know what I think about both those penalties, and we'll get into it in a minute. I kind of felt like I didn't feel like Jota's was a penalty for me, in the sense of there was contact, but Jota initiated it. He stopped, and then he got hit, and then he threw his legs. The difference between Jota's and Dele Alli's is Jota timed his jump and his simulation better. Dele Alli was expecting the feet to clash with each other, and they just about missed. I look at both those kind of penalties, and it's where a player is just waiting for that contact. And I just don't like penalties like that. I mean, in fairness, I thought Matip's challenge on Winks was more a penalty because he nearly kneed him in the face.
I think the initial contact was outside the box. I think that's why it wasn't given as a penalty.
Maybe that's the case. Alan, we are going to go to Jess from a rival's perspective in a minute, but from your point of view as a Tottenham fan, about 9.5 weeks out that you haven't played for now, there was a lot of talk from Gooners last night that you lot would lack match fitness. You wouldn't be at the races. Was that your best performance in the Premier League this season?
By a country mile, and for me, it's 2 points dropped. We had so many chances, clear-cut chances to bury Liverpool, and we didn't take them. Could that be because we've been out for not playing for so long? Yeah, it could be a bit of match rustness. For me, I'd feel gutted because it's 2 points dropped. I mean, I don't agree with some of the decisions that people are saying either way. So that super chat, Zain's not showing up because Liverpool didn't win. That he only shows up when they win, so don't worry about him. So for me, it was our best performance. If Conte can keep us playing like that each week with the players that we've got, like you said, it was Winks, it was Dele Alli, those type of people playing when you weren't Højbjerg, Skip, we've got all the chances in the world to be top 4. debating on who comes in or who he's allowed to bring in, it could be a promising season. I haven't seen that Tottenham team with those players put in that much effort, performance and passion for well over 2 years now. So it looks promising. And 2 points drop. But I did say at the start earlier on today in the space that I'd take a point. Liverpool could have been our side chick today and taken 4 or 5 if we'd have had our finishing boots on. But, they get away with it.
They certainly did. Jess, how about yourself? Obviously, you watch this kind of from a fairly neutral. I mean, you're an Arsenal fan, so you're always going to look at it with a certain lens on. But what did you make of the performance from both sides today?
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at the midfield for Liverpool, I thought, okay, this is probably going to be a draw. And that's no shade, but we know that this is not your number one midfield at all whatsoever. And I'm thinking Spurs, I don't know what Arsenal fans were saying, that they didn't think that Spurs would have match fitness. I thought they'd be rested. So they would have a little bit of something over Liverpool in that respect. And I think Spurs, I mean, if they looked rested, they looked positive. They looked like they knew what they were doing. Obviously, the game plan was fairly similar to what it's always been, what it was under Jose, what it was under Nuno, which is to get it to Son and Kane in space in the counterattack. But the difference is that everything behind that was quite organized. If you're honest, Liverpool fans, Davies pocketed Salah today. I didn't even see him out there on the pitch. And that's different. To me, that's different to what I've seen before from Spurs. So that it is a little bit worrying that, okay, so behind that, if he can organize that and get Son and Kane just scoring goals, that's a little bit of a problem for the rest of us. But let's keep it real. That was not Liverpool's number one midfield at all. They looked shaky and a little bit out of sorts. This also goes back to kind of what I was saying at the beginning of the season, that I know Liverpool fans don't want to hear it, but when you kind of go beneath that surface to that next layer of players, it's just not the same. And you need Fabinho, you need Virgil van Dijk to be the team that you are. But I think as an equal game, a point for each team for me was probably the right result. Spurs probably feel a little bit like, oh, we should have gotten the 3 points. Maybe you should have. But the calls, they both should have been down to 10 men. I mean, come on, Harry Kane. The fact that they both should have been down to 10 men, 100%. Robertson.
No, I was looking at Alan saying that is a bit...
yeah, you really can't say that. It was a leg breaker. And to be honest, in commentary over here, all they kept saying was, I heard England captain 7 times. If I'm hearing England captain more than once, it's obvious.
I've got a cool conspiracy, yeah. Scotland captain gets sent off and England captain doesn't get sent off.
You know what I was about to say about that? What I would say is I do think there's a bias towards England captains. It always has been. Arsenal, Jess, you may not have been watching Prem football at this point. I don't know how regular it was played in the States when Tony Adams was your captain. Speak to Arsenal fans of that generation and they'll say, got away with murder.
Well, I like it when it's Arsenal. I like it when it's Spurs.
One thing I'd say about Robertson being, at least people can't say it was a British bias. That's all I'm going to say. Like, at least the British thing can't be thrown around on this one, because I do think Scotland are part of Britain. There's a super chat here, and I want to put this to the Liverpool fans. It says here, we're out of the title race. Can't catch City now. Only 4 sides have been top at Christmas and failed to win the title. And on all 4 times, that's been Liverpool. I didn't realise that.
It's 3 times, because we finished top at 19 and we won the title. So,
I'm just going by this guy's tweet. Like, I didn't do the research on this. The title race can't be over as of now. Like that's too big a claim.
I mean,
that people are just too reactionary. People like, can we calm the guys at 3 points?
Yeah,
I promise you it's 3 points. Listen, City have drawn 4 games. They've drawn to Southampton. They lost to Crystal Palace at home. You guys need to understand, bro. The Premier League, this is what happens. This is just what happens in the Premier League. City could easily host Tottenham at home and draw. City could draw to, I mean, they can't really draw to Arsenal. That's a different topic. But City could draw to Chelsea. They could drop points to Crystal Palace again. They could drop points to Man United, who, like, you know, maybe could park the bus again and get a point. You never know. And 3 points is not that massive anyway. Like, it's not like, you see, if the difference was like 8 points, 10 points, it'd be like, okay, fair enough. Maybe it's a bit too much, but 3 points, 1 game, one game. If City lose next game and we win 4-0, we're on top. We're top of the league. So, like,
the overall perspective hasn't changed. We have to hope City lose and we win.
Yeah,
the whole
that's it.
situation doesn't change.
The injuries you guys have got out, how long are they out for? Like Van Dijk, Henderson.
So most of them are
COVID.
illness/COVID.
COVID.
Okay, so it's going to be a couple of games maybe before they're back.
Yeah,
They'll be back for Leeds next week. Van Dijk and
'Cause
Fabinho. Thiago, I'm not sure. Maybe Thiago needs a game.
Thiago's got COVID.
What I saw in
Yeah,
this game for
Thiago's got
Liverpool,
COVID. So Van
what I
Dijk
saw
and
in this-
Fabinho are back next week.
Okay. What I saw in this game was what Liverpool were when obviously you had all the injuries when you fell away. And it's worrying that your midfield and your defence isn't there and you are exposed quite easily over the top because you have your fullbacks pushing on.
I mean, Alan, I did say we were a couple injuries away from playing Tyler.
And that's what I said at the start of the
Morton
season.
in
So this is crucial for Liverpool because if you have the injuries out for 2 or 3 games and you can get exposed like that, you're going to end up losing. You're going to lose the title you'll fall away from the title race. But if you can get him back without so much damage, then you're fine. But
So over the top.
Just
This
very
is
quickly,
so over the top.
Someone has
Alan.
said actually these are the right dates. So it's saying in 09, in the 08-09, in the 13-14, 18-19, and last year Liverpool they were Christmas last year. So that's mad that Liverpool are the only team to have done it 4 times. That's crazy. Liverpool were shocking today, almost like losing key players to your system makes you completely a different team. See, that's from a Chelsea fan.
But we're not blaming the injuries.
Chelsea fans have the most obnoxious main character syndrome I have seen my entire life. Listen, look at the title of the video. This is a Liverpool Spurs match reaction. I don't know why Chelsea fans, bro, like you guys, why are you just like you insert yourself into every discussion for no reason whatsoever?
It's because
you drew at home to Everton's C team. There was number 81, number 93. They're all 18, 19. They had to go to uni. Their mom drove them to Stamford Bridge. Why are you in the YouTube comment section right now? Why? If I was in your place, I'd be embarrassed. Can you relax a little bit? Like, it's just Chelsea fans just like to put themselves into every conversation. Chelsea. They spent the whole day crying today, and they basically fielded their first 11.
It's like small dogs.
I'm going to start bringing callers in soon. We've got a lot of people backstage to come on and join us for calls. I want to ask you all quickly as well. Should Liverpool's second goal have stood, Alan? Clearly the ball striking Mo Salah's hand in build-up. Do you understand the law? Do you still think that they gained an advantage through this handball? What's your views?
For me, the law was changed because I think there was an incident between Tottenham and Fulham last season that led to this rule change, and it's actually screwed us over because for me, the ball's hit his arm, it's dropped in, and Lloris has had to make a reaction save to stop a goal. So in the heat of the moment, he's made the save because he's thinking they're going to score. But if he doesn't make the save and he does score, then apparently it's going to get chalked off, which then leads to them scoring. It makes no sense. So for me, it's one of them. It went in your favour. I don't think it should have been a goal, but it is what it is, you know. And then, yeah, but I think the rule change was ridiculous.
I agree. I think there's been no law broke here, but it's, do you know what it is with a lot of these stupid rules they keep bringing in? It's once you start seeing these things, as you just said there, if Hugo Lloris and Tottenham would have stopped playing when Mo Salah handballed it, and then Mo Salah puts it in, it's no goal. But because they carried on playing, because you're never, they say play to the referee's whistle, you end up bringing the ball back in play for Liverpool, which led to them scoring. It's an atrocious law. It really is. And I think when you benefit from it, it's like, oh no, that's the rules. But I preferred how it was, where if there was a handball in the build up to goal, it was disallowed. At least that was like unyielding. Does that make sense? It's like, I know your one against Fulham was mad because the player was on his back. He weren't even looking and it hit his hand. But it's a mad one. I just wanted to get a Spurs' fans' perspective on that. Right, we're going to go to calls. We've got ZAIN to come, Tom Little, Leaf, Rack, Ryan here as well. But ZAIN's cup. We're going to bring Tom Little on first because Tom Little's been a little bit animated backstage. I don't know if his mum's let him have a beer today or not, but he's very backstage. Wow. Young Tom Little is here. What you saying, bro?
Oh, don't even get me started on it. We've been robbed of a win today. Absolutely robbed of a win. Because you know what? The Tottenham fans sit there and go, oh, we had loads of chances. It's not our fault he didn't take them. It's not our fault Dele Alli decided to hit the keeper or Sean decided to slice it wide. What is out of our control is the referee deciding a leg-breaking challenge by Harry Kane is a yellow. And the push and the shoulder, it's not even a shoulder barge because that's side by side. Whatever it is in the back, a barge in the back isn't a penalty. And our red card, I actually think, I can see why he's given it. But this is the issue with VAR in this country. The whole, it's got to be clear and obvious. Because the clear and obvious thing, it's just so it's just so stupid because you know what? At the end of the day, I can find a reason for every decision that's made. I can see at the end of the day, I can see why the referees made it, and if I can see why the referees made it, it's not a clear and obvious error. Clear and obvious is I cannot see in any way how he's made it. That's clear. If a referee is sitting there and going, well, if I take this and this and this into account, I can see why you made it. No. If it goes to VAR, it at the end of the day should be taken out of that on the pitch referee's hands because he cannot do his job, and you've got to go to the VAR ref who's got multiple angles to break it down and go, right, well, he's made a wrong decision. No, well, I can see why it's a foul, but the referee can't. I can see why he's given it as well. No, it's just so... Oh, I don't get it. I do not get it. This is the reason why we didn't have any referees at the Euros. This is the reason why we're not going to have any referees at the World Cup. This is the best league in the world, and we've got some of the worst referees because they want to be, let the man on the field do it. The man on the field is incompetent. The man behind the screen is just as incompetent. Tottenham played really well today. Fair play to them. But they should have been down to 10 men inside 20 minutes, and it's a completely different game now. If you're saying the Robertson one is a red card, that Harry Kane one is 10 times worse. Because if Robertson's foot is on that floor, his knee is gone.
Robertson should have been done for GBH, let alone get a red card. Did you see what he done? It's really. It's
sorry, no, that was a proper ankle breaker.
Missed the ball by that much. He missed the ball by that much. But you know what? I'm agreeing. It's a red card. It's dangerous play.
Yeah.
What is Harry Kane's?
So
Harry Kane.
When I
You
saw
don't think it's a red card at all? Are you serious?
Alan, you don't think Harry Kane?
No. Let me answer the question. So when I first originally saw it, I thought it was two players going for the ball, and it looked in real time like he got it. You look back on it, and he actually caught the player. But it's not like he's completely out of control. It's not like he's intent. No, hold on. It's low as well. He catches. Just let's not forget Granit Xhaka last night.
It was similar. Let
me finish. Relax.
Alan, forget Granit Xhaka. Was Harry Kane a red card?
So hold on. So I'm just putting it in context. So that.
No.
Let me finish. So they're one of them tackles where you think, I can see it going either way. So he's made the tackle. He's caught the play. Yep, I don't deny that. On the field of play, he's given the yellow card. And then VAR look, and then they say, we think you made a mistake on that. They didn't do it. I can see it go, if it would have gone red, I could have gone, I understand that. If it had gone stage yellow, I could have gone, I can see why it's stage yellow. Because it's not like malice intent where he's actually gone to break or stuff like that. It's been mistimed and he's gone in low and he's gone to win the ball and it's just an overzealous is how you say it. So that's why you can see...
Robertson is not malice intent either. Because
Robertson's was malice intent.
No, it wasn't because he was looking at the ball the whole time.
I'll be honest.
Yes, he was. Go look at the replay.
Let me just say, I disagree with Alan completely. Harry Kane's, for me, was a terrible lunge that he was out of control of. If his foot's planted on the floor, that's a leg breaker. Equally, though, Robertson's, for me, I've played football and I also was a fairly competent Thai boxer. He kicked Emerson Royale. He was not making a challenge for the ball. He disguised the kick within a challenge. And as soon as you saw, especially when you saw the replay in full motion, you don't tackle for the ball like that. He's gone to kick him, and both should have gone. Both acts were terrible. And, fortunately, both Robertson, who was the recipient of the first foul, and Emerson Royale walk away unscathed. But both those tackles today from both those players.
But just before, obviously, you think I've just completely said the Harry Kane one isn't. I said the Harry Kane one. I can understand why it would be given a red, so I can see it both ways.
I agree. Both are red.
Do you think it should have been a red? That's what I want to know.
Both are red.
Yeah, like I said,
what the other isn't.
If they'd have changed it to red,
I don't know why you're so in love with someone that's going to leave your club.
You're going around.
No, do you know? Let me say it in simple English. If they had changed it to red, I would have gone, I can understand why it's a red.
That's not what we're asking you, Alan. In your opinion,
should have been sent off.
So that's me.
Alan, in your opinion, is it a red? Yes or no?
In my opinion, yeah, I can see why it was given as red. But it's not as blatant as the Robertson one.
Yes or no? Is it a red?
Alan, when are you running for to be an MP?
Tell me. Yes.
Hold on.
Yes for a 10th time, people.
Let's move on.
They understand universally.
Yes. We've reached the common ground. Ali, do you think the Jota foul in the first half is a penalty?
Yeah.
Where Emerson Royale came in the back of him?
Because I thought it was a penalty because basically Royal doesn't look like he's going for the ball at all, and he's just basically gone into him to nudge him off the ball. But then you see Kyle Walker do that alone and get away with it. It's one of them weird ones. But I would say, if it happened to the Spurs player, I would say that was.
And you know what, Alan? You're spot on, because Kyle Walker gets away with it loads, but he gets caught up on it loads. I remember 3 times last season done that in big games. But at the end of the day, what's happened there is you've agreed that the referee has robbed us of the game.
Okay, so hold on, you're saying that. So you've been robbed, but what about the Salah one, handball?
Salah handball, yeah, the handball.
So then you've robbed us because you shouldn't have been 2-1 up.
But you shouldn't have had Harry Kane on the pitch for 17 minutes of that game, which then makes it a completely different game.
Okay, I don't agree with that. But a team that's been out of 10 minutes for 70 minutes can't hold out for a draw or a win.
But you're then saying we robbed you by you'd have a win when you're down 10 minutes.
Both teams had bad things go against them today. It's as simple as that.
We had a hell of a lot worse, because at the end of the day, the Robertson one is a red card. But the Robertson one, I've seen a lot of players get away with. I've seen players get sent off for less with what Harry Kane done. Granit Xhaka against Man City this season was pretty much the exact same thing.
People sent off for less than the Robertson one.
And Leeds, sorry.
Yes.
I hear you on that.
Against Leeds yesterday.
Tom, listen, Top Man coming on and giving us your views and opinions, bro. We're going to recycle some of the callers on Top Man. Thank you very much, bro. Next on the show, Leaf's here. Leaf is a Tottenham fan. Let's add a bit of balance here to see what Leaf's got to say.
Hi. Yeah, I was really impressed by how we played. Like, I don't know if you saw our previous games. This game, we attacked, we defended okay. We still need a few defenders. We attacked really well. I was surprised by how many chances we created. I was surprised that we didn't see Salah do a lot. I was gutted that we didn't score all those chances. And let's not forget that we had five players that were not fit. Højbjerg, Skip, of course. We didn't have Lucas.
Skip
he was not fit enough. No, he was not fit enough to start. He was not fit enough to start because of COVID. But I think I was really impressed. And if we keep this going, if we play like this against other teams and we finish our chances, we are gonna expect some good things at the end of the season.
And I think you'd have to leave Top Man for coming on and having your say, mate. Really appreciate it, bro. I think Leaf makes a good point. I've said this about Spurs under Antonio Conte. They just look very good. Yeah, they just look good. They look, and they're doing it with a lot of players that are below par. And I know that someone said it earlier. Actually, who said that Davis stopped Mo Salah? Was it you, Jess? See, I thought it was Sessegnon. I thought Sessegnon did, but again, I probably they both did it. I was watching Sessegnon today because that kid, I don't know where he's been. I don't know where he's been for the last 2 years. This kid was hot property in the Prem 2 years ago. I thought we had an excellent game today in a Tottenham shirt. We've got Ryan to come on soon, Rack to come, but ZAIN is here now. ZAIN's a Liverpool fan. What are you saying, brother?
All right, chat. Apologies for delay. I didn't get the link, so boy. And Alan, you muppet about trying to say I'm hiding. Who you are? You're some beta bitch. Stop talking about my name, bro. All the time you come on, ain't this, ain't that. Shut up, bro. Who are you? I don't know you. You're some random. What are you, bro? Irrelevant to me, bro. So shut your mouth. Next point for Jess, right? You don't know your football, bro. About Salah got pocketed. Do you not understand that Ferguson was double teaming on Salah? Did you not see that? Were you not watching the game? Did you not see Ferguson all up Salah's ass for the whole game, basically? So you talk about, bro. No. Listen, let me finish. Let me say my thing first. Let me say my thing. ZAIN, I know about football. How could you not spot? He got
chill. Very good.
Did you just say how was he pocketed? Because he got pocketed.
No. What I'm saying
he didn't get pocketed. I agree with ZAIN. He didn't get pocketed.
The left back, whatever, was pocketing. No, it wasn't. Ferguson and the left back were both double teaming Salah. That's why. Come on, man. If Salah will get pocketed, he won't be with some dead left back like that, bruv. I don't even know the brother's name. That's how shit that left back is, bruv.
But it happened, though.
Right back or whatever. Do you get me? So
he wasn't pocketed, though.
Exactly. But he had double team, bruv. That's why I like the agenda of these people.
He was nullified.
They don't know what they're talking about, bruv. This Jess girl, she's chatting shit, nonsense, bruv, about it was one person, it was two teams. You watch the game again, bruv. Ferguson was up his backside for the whole game, bruv. As soon as Salah got it, he had two men around him. So I don't know what game this girl was watching, but boy, she's some cuckoo land. Now I've got that on my system because boy, man had to wait a time to get on here, bro. A time as well, bro. Right? Big time, bro. Anyway, all you man to chat about, oh yeah, I'm hiding, I'm sorry. What did I say from day one? Man City are favourites. What did I say also? Liverpool ain't going to win the league. And thirdly, what did I say? It's not our defence that shit. It's our midfield. And guess what happened today? We had Morton, again, shit game, poor kid. I don't want to go in too hard because he's a young boy. We had, what's his name, Milner, again, shit game. Gave the ball away too many times. And I've said this consistently this season. If our best midfield is not playing, we are too open. It's not a defensive issue. It's our midfield. And here, case in point again. So from my point of view, that's what you lot need to understand. And I'm not sorted because I called this. I've said from day one, City are the favourites. And look what's happening. And you Chelsea, man. Oh, what a surprise. 0-0. We all fucking knew you ain't going to score. And it's going to be 0-0 against Wolves. But the next point about the referee, forget about the referee. They were shit, right? Because there's inconsistency. Because Robertson, the challenge by Kane, should have been referred to VAR, same as Robertson one. If they've both been referred, they're both in the centre. But that's the inconsistency. But I'm not crying about it because fundamentally, we were not that good today. We did not deserve to win. We were lucky not to get a point out of that because the XG showed that they had sitters. And Alisson, people can go on about he made a mistake. He kept us in the game a lot of the times. And the final thing again, just to clarify, for all you men out there, I've said City are the favourites. Am I right now? What are you saying now, bro? What are you saying? What have they done? One again and then pushing ahead? Thank you very much. So all you men in the chat, shut up, bro. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about, bro.
There's a super chat from Daniel who's watching that says, Zayn, just like a 10-year-old, beard of a 40-year-old.
Oh, you're hiding, Daniel. Come on, the chat, bro. After you got exposed last time,
Daniel shouldn't be talking, man. Daniel should not be talking, man. That
Daniel,
guy's
you
come
drew
here with a
towards
pity
the way.
party and all that nonsense.
You drew towards the way.
So can I just come back to the
What's the
whole
kind
day
emoji for
morning,
Daniel in
and
the
then
chat, bro?
starting
Kind emoji
your
for
best
him.
11 anyway. So just keep your
You
mouth
shouldn't-
shut, please.
Can I just
Daniel,
come back
just
to
stay
the
quiet,
point?
bro. Stay quiet.
Also,
Can I-
Daniel, if you
can I come back to
notice, one sec, neither me, nor Ram, nor Zayn, nor Tom Little said we're out of the title race, unlike you last week when you threw your toys out of the pram after one draw. So please just keep your mouth shut. Just talk too much. You are obsessed. You are obsessed with Liverpool Football Club. This Christmas, I advise you, listen to Mariah Carey, Obsessed, 15 times, and you will understand why you're so obsessed. You know why
what?
you're so obsessed with me?
Zayn,
Like, why are you so obsessed? 1 second, Ram. Why are you so obsessed with my football club? You went to Wolves away, spent 15 hours of your entire day complaining, and then you started Kante, Rudiger, Reece James, this guy, that guy, and you ended up drawing. Why are you talking? Last week you said you're out of the title race. We're having a title race discussion. Go and have a top 4 discussion with Arsenal and United fans. Leave us out of your mouth. You're so obsessed. This is unhealthy. This is unhealthy. I'm just talking from a brother, bro. This is unhealthy, but honestly.
Ram, go on, you're saying something, Ram.
I was going to say, this game, you're going to love this comment. This game, we really missed Thiago. I think we really did miss him.
Everyone keeps talking about defence. Terry said that at the start of the show. It's not defence. If a midfield does its job and we have the right players in there, our defence is patterned. And that's what you've seen now past couple of games, bro.
So what, Van Dijk's irrelevant then? If it's your midfield,
No,
Van Dijk
it's
shouldn't play the rest of the
it's
game.
not just Van Dijk. It's just
Oh my days.
everything.
Alan, man, you're a muppet, bro. You don't know football, bro. You tried to flip flop
I
about
think
the
you need
red
to
card.
I
It was
think
a
you need
brilliant
to
red card,
I
and
think
you're
you
trying
need
to
to
say,
chill
oh,
and
no,
relax
it wasn't
yourself
out
a
of
bit.
control, bro. It was out of control. That
I think you need to
tackle,
chill
man.
and relax.
He was sliding with his backside.
I didn't realise one single comment could trigger you this much, but it's
No,
fine.
No, I'm just shutting you down because I don't want to hear your noise. Because
not
We're
just-
not
it's
triggered.
not-
We're just responding, man.
It's not just Van.
Daniel has an unhealthy
Hang on.
obsession.
Let me address Alan's comment. It's not just Van Dijk because I, in my opinion, I believe Matip and Konate are good enough to cover for Van Dijk. The midfield today, there was no balance at all. Tyler Moore, I felt sorry for the guy. The guy was outrun, outmuscled, outdone with everything. It was a baptism of fire for him today. The reason the whole game we were playing 100 miles per hour, there's no stopping, there's no game management, and that's where we needed someone like a Thiago or maybe a Fabinho just to slow things down and say, okay, let's get things back together and we'll start again.
The reason why I say it with Van Dijk is because I saw so many balls over the top, even central balls over the top, catch your defence out time and time again.
And it's that dumb high line that we play
agree,
as well.
I agree. So look, I think the midfield was a little bit weak today for Liverpool. Yes, but I think it was better on paper than Tottenham's. I think
No, it was not Terry. It wasn't.
Terry, come on, man.
Hang on a minute. They had Harry Winks and Dele Alli. No
Well,
one.
Milner, Cater, and who was the other?
Okay.
Morton,
And the kid.
and then
Maybe not. Okay.
Ndombele,
Dele-
Winks, and Ali.
Let all stop talking, please, for a second. I hear your point, but Harry Winks and Dele Alli are laughed at as football players. You know, so okay, maybe Spurs is slightly better then, but equally, what I saw as a bigger issue is balls over the top. I didn't see your midfield. Your midfield did get played through at times, but it was simple balls over the top. The chance that Harry Kane missed at the beginning of the second half, where the ball was played over to the Dele Alli run, and he cuts it back. That had nothing to do with your midfield, and that was happening all game.
It's a multiple thing, and is that? And I want to just quickly.
And those kind of balls didn't stop once you made.
No.
I just want to quickly say, why are we playing a dumb high line when we're already winning the game? I need
You guys
to ask
always
this
play a
question.
high line.
Exactly.
though.
No, but we don't have to pay
that's your life.
that high of a line when
That's
we're
your
winning
life.
the game. We don't do that. Not when
But
we're
that's-
winning.
Can I just say about the whole
That's what we do, Ram. That's what we do.
Yeah.
the
no,
only
no,
thing I
but
want to
so
say
far,
about the Virgil van Dijk thing is obviously Konate and Matip are great defenders, but let's get it right. You need a leader back there, and I think Matip and Konate at the moment are both followers. They need to follow the main guy, so it needs to be Matip and Van Dijk. Van Dijk
disagree
and
with that.
Konate.
Just
Like
because
it's I think
midfield-
so. I think it's very similar
okay,
to Man City,
okay,
where it can't
okay.
be Stones and Laporte. It needs to be Diaz and one of them. You can't underrate having somebody back there that's a leader. And I just think even Allison looks a little bit like I need to come out and save them, because what are they doing back there?
That's the keeper's job. But again, I go back to midfield. If the midfield was doing their job, would that person be able to have the time and space to play the ball over the top? No, they won't. So again, you lot.
They were playing those from the back line.
Oh
You had
my God.
Sanchez
Well,
taking balls over the top of
Zayn,
your
I have to
your
disagree,
defense.
man. The
Yeah.
likes of Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez were just pinging it over our defense.
And Harry Winks as
for
well.
For me, I think Konate can deal with it because he's
Alan?
he's physically good enough to deal with it because he's fast and he's
I
bloody
got so
strong.
much shit.
But
for you, you have no idea.
Matip cannot. I don't think Matip can't.
You're
But you
gonna
know what
have
I
a
mean?
long ass week, Alan. You have no idea how long.
Okay, look at the first.
Because
Okay,
you're
look at the
so
first
smug
goal.
about this. You're so smug. I expected you to come in humble and be like, "Oh, 1 point against Liverpool."
I just feel,
Well,
I just
fair
feel-
enough. Fair
just
enough.
with
Fair enough.
Liverpool, there always seems to be this reluctancy at any point to criticize your defense. It's always something else's fault that
It's
you
a
conceded
system.
goals.
I think the
And
defenders'
I get it.
individual quality, they're good, but it's
I get that. But
a
there were some
system
moments
thing, man.
today where balls were being allowed to bounce. There was too much distance between.
Morton.
Sometimes Konate today on 3 or 4 occasions got caught too close to his centre back and not near enough to Robertson. That's actually what partly led to the goal. Now I heard Jamie Carragher at halftime say that was the quality of the pass from Ndombele. I thought it was a fairly simple pass, really. I didn't think it was like, oh wow.
Robertson played him on side as well.
Yeah, well, Robertson did, but I think Konate should have been a yard a little closer to him. Look, I definitely think your midfield played a part, but like I've already said, barring Morton, that you would say was the worst of the 6 on the field today, there's no way you guys would swap Naby Keita for any one of the starting Spurs
What
midfielders.
about Milner, bro?
And
He's
you wouldn't
got
swap,
OP,
you
bro.
guys wouldn't swap Milner for Winks or
Yes, we would, bro. He's too old, bro.
what's the other guy's name? Does Winks or Dele Alli?
Ndombele.
You guys, if I'd said to you a week ago, swap you James Milner for Dele Alli or Winks, you'd have all said no.
I'll go for Winks.
please
I'll
don't
go
try
for
and
Winks.
rewrite history now. No one, even Spurs fans, want.
I'm telling you, Terry.
Come on.
Milner was giving away the ball away too much. That's half the way Spurs.
Dele Alli is a no.
So
I
is
agree.
Winks.
But Ndombele and Winks,
I'm
yes,
okay.
over the other two.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. Winks. I'm just saying that these 2 players who have been consistently laughed at and ridiculed and put down by everybody, suddenly today Liverpool fans would take them in their squad. I ain't having it. Ndombele maybe, but for me, I think we're being a little disrespectful. I've got a lot of super chats I've got to catch up with here, people. I've got so many, and I haven't missed them. I've saved them. I'm going to go through them all one by one. Jess's argument is flawed. This is from a while back. You are assuming that their backup might not have either had COVID or be injured as well. Butterfly flex doesn't work like this. I can't think that's to your point about who's out injured there. Let's talk about Alisson's slide. Yeah, Alisson did get caught out for that Son goal. I thought Son was going to miss it as well. Harry Kane's is never a red card, is what this Man City fan.
Of course, Man City are saying,
Yeah.
shut your mouth, shut
A
up.
red
I know
card.
what you're doing, you mug.
Robbo got away with the same tackle a few seasons ago against us. Stop crying, Liverpool fans. What goes around comes around.
True.
I don't have a problem with the
And we said it was a red card. What is wrong with you?
No, you don't get his point. He's saying when Robbo got away with one 2 years ago,
Yes,
crying about Harry Kane getting away with one. That's his point.
Yeah,
Spurs should have won this 4-0. Super lucky, Paul.
4-0.
They didn't. They didn't. So shut your mouth.
Harry Kane never a red. A few people have said that. A Bub here says, why would he agree? You Liverpool fans never would say that about your players. Stop the BS.
We said Robertson is ahead.
Man United is chalking.
This Tottenham guy is a joke.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Thank you. We know.
Agreed. Don't worry, I'll deal with them this week. I'll deal with them this week. Don't worry.
Liverpool fans like to talk a lot about Chelsea fans, but they keep on crying themselves about.
We're not crying. What is these super chats? They're just talking absolute nonsense. Actually, put something is actually constructive, yeah, and stop talking the amount of shit that you are. Thank you.
My super chatters, I love you. Keep them coming, please, ladies and gentlemen. And Ram reacts to them saying he's crying
by crying on camera.
I'm not crying. I'm not crying. It's dumb. It's dumb.
It's the phrase last minute goal. No, it isn't, but thank you for guessing. Liverpool fans are so emotional. Surprised they aren't petitioning to have Harry Kane arrested.
That's a throwback.
Sam Meltdown is beautiful. Zain, he's Mr. Burns style man-child stooge is what's being said here. Terry, I think with a better midfield, we had more of the ball, which means less ball over the top.
And we need
Thank you. Someone's knowing what I'm talking about. Thank you. My guy.
Midfielder.
My guy.
Yeah. There we go. Why do City get less of those balls over the top, more control? The midfield did a lot of covering, less pressure on the ball. I get that, but your defense has still got to pick up those runners. Your team has to adapt to be able to. It isn't just the case. We've got no midfield, so therefore we can excuse our defense for being caught under the ball. That doesn't make sense to me.
We play a different style, mate. That's what we do.
This is so is no one talking about the advantage of Spurs having games off? The midfield messed up the game. Defense got caught out because of midweek. Maria Williams says, Hussim, you speak too much in the spaces. Me and Alan said we'd take a draw. Be humble. You said you'd spank us. You speak too much. You got
that, bro. You got called that, bro. For your nonsense, bro.
Another one here that says Liverpool rent free in rivals' heads. Just waiting. Wanted to say that ref had a horrible game. Also, Milner was trash today. I will say this about rivals: if your rivals are not rent free in your head, you don't love football and you don't love your own football club. If you're a Liverpool fan and Man United are not in your head, you're not a Liverpool fan, and vice versa.
Yeah, they were in my head 10 years ago, no longer.
Yes, but Derek, thank you. Milner was bad.
Hang on, Hussim, I've got to call you out, bro. After
Man City are in my head rent free, not you.
Win or defeat. This is what I saw from you, and excuse the accent because it works. Holy is at the wheel. Tell me how good.
That's not rent free. That's banter.
That's what rent free means.
But you're still thinking about it.
No, Man City are rent free in my head. I'll always check the result. Your club couldn't care less.
Balls over the top without Van Dijk due to his pace, and Matip can deal with Son's pace on the break, is what Selection's got to say. Did you see what the ref told Klopp on the Jota penalty? Like Jota stopped and waited for contact. Never seen a ref like that. In fairness, that's exactly why I said I don't think it was one. I don't like those penalties, if I'm being honest, but that's just my.
That is given. That's the thing.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't like seeing them given, but you have seen them given. So it's one of them things. But I think we got away with one today.
I like this super chat because it brings me on to another point. I'm going to bring Ryan and Rack in very soon as well. Terry, clearly this game has shown Spurs are firm favourites for top four with Conte. In charge. Listen, I want to bring this up with Alan, and then we can all have an opinion on this. Like, I wouldn't say that firm favourites, but you have to feel confident you can put in a proper challenge for one of these Champions League places, Alan.
I based on that, I mean, seeing Dele Alli play like that for the first time in 2 years, same with Harry Winks. Dele Alli played like he did when he first came to Spurs. I've not seen him play like that for 2 years. But the only thing I criticise him about today is why, when you've taken the ball in your chest and are running through on goal, do you give it up and try and buy a penalty? Just have a shot, you score, you win the game. It's just ridiculous. But so the runnings up, the passion, everything like that. We're outrunning team now where for 2 years we haven't been able to outrun a single team. So, there's loads of positives there. I still think we need to bring in a couple of better players to help steady ship, because if we have a couple of injuries, we are depleted, but Conte team always outrun the team. The work ethic, he won't settle for anything less. So if we apply that to the rest of the season, going back to the super chat beforehand, we've had 2 or 3 games off. So you aren't as tired as other teams, but you lack the match sharpness. But we showed we had match sharpness as well, which I weren't expecting. So for me, there's a lot of good signs coming from Spurs, especially under Conte. Let's just hope we can add correctly in January, and I think we'll be there or thereabouts at the end of the season.
We are going to continue this conversation, but David Ornstein has just tweeted and he has said the Premier League clubs will discuss on Monday's emergency meeting whether to postpone a round of festive matches due to the COVID situation. Game week 20, so that's not Boxing Day, it's the games in between, some on the 28th, 29th and 30th are most likely. So it's going to be intriguing to see. For me, like, we knew something was going to give, so they're looking to suspend a whole round of games. It's the games in between Boxing Day and New Year's, just to try and help with player welfare concerns, as an example. The only thing that's mad about that is if you've got an outbreak on Boxing Day, but you've got to play, and then you're going to get a game off, and then you're going to have to play again a few days. I don't really kind of get it. It's either have a complete week off or not, but we'll see what happens tomorrow in relation to that. Jess, Tottenham, you're currently sitting in 4th place. There's a long way to go. You've got a number of games in hand over Tottenham and Manchester United. Did you see anything from Spurs today as a gooner that concerns you or worries you at all?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I think that they did really well today, and you have to give them credit. You can't just sit here. I mean, I do think that they were fresher, but then also Liverpool didn't have their best midfield. But that being said, you have to play who's in front of you. And I'm very much so against the whole, well, let's dissect all the wins and good results. And they were good, period. So you have to give it to them. And again, I think it's not much different than what I see tactically from Jose Mourinho or Nuno in terms of wanting to play on the counter. The difference was the players behind that were much better. They perform much better than they usually do. So it's worrisome in that way where it's like, okay, well, maybe they'll be better, and there are a lot of Arsenal fans that just kind of wrote them off and said Conte would flop or whatever. And I don't really think that I've personally said that. I think Man United, Spurs are very much in that top 4 race and should be. One has one of the top 5 managers in the world, and Manchester United have great players, so for an Arsenal fan, it's kind of like, we kind of have to hope that West Ham really falls off now, because I still think we're fighting for that 6th spot. So yeah, it's a little bit worrisome, but I still think we're there. And again, Spurs have to win like every single one of those games in hand. I still think they'll slip up and lose at least one of those. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think they did good today. And so you can't really take that away from them.
Terry, I just want to say one thing before I hop off. Unlike Jess, who has a Liverpool agenda, I actually don't mind Arsenal. So if they get top 4,
agenda against you?
Yes, you do.
Oh
Yes,
my
you
God.
do. Yes, you
It's
do.
so blatant, man.
God.
No.
Yes, you do. We have a saying.
Take your
Let
time.
me,
Go ahead.
Ram, I'm
Wait.
hopping off. Let me just have my 30 seconds. I'm hopping off. We have a saying in the Middle East. I'm like a camel. I don't forget, because camels never forget. If you ever do anything to a camel, he'll see you 3 years later and he'll remember what you did to him. So he'll never forget. I'll never forget what he said at the start. But anyway, listen, I think Arsenal finished top 4. I said this to Alan earlier. The only way in which Tottenham Hotspur finish in that 4th spot is if they have 5 players signed this January transfer window. Because forget today's performance. Today was about passion, fight, desire, blah, blah, blah. Not interested. It's about what Tottenham do against the other 16 clubs. It's not what they do against Liverpool, City, Chelsea. What they do against us is considered a bonus. So what they do in the other games is what matters. But I think their squad, with all due respect, 25 players, respectfully, there's about 13, 14 championship quality players in that side. Well, let's just keep it real. So unless they make 4 or 5 signings, they have no hope in hell to be top 4. I think Arsenal are the most stable club out of the other 2. Man United have the better players. But they have I just think there's a bit of instability there. It's just a prediction. In my honest opinion, I think it probably ends up as Arsenal in 4th place.
I think you're
He's just trying to get a reaction out of me.
No, I didn't say it. It's a prediction. Don't know. It's just a prediction. Just a prediction.
What we say though about Tottenham, and I'm backing Tottenham here to a degree, because people say sort of thing. I'm going to bring in Ryan next, and then Rack will be in after him. Like, I feel like people say, like, well, he just said it's not about what they do against Liverpool. but they beat Leeds 2-1 before Leeds had their big injury problems. They beat Brentford when Brentford was still being talked up as really good. They beat Norwich 3-0 quite comfortably in the league. So if you look at so far what they've done under Conte without any signings, we're trying to kind of blow the cobwebs out of the previous two managers. They've done very, very well indeed. And I said a few weeks back, I think people shouldn't sleep on Tottenham with Antonio Conte because they have a world-class manager. Man United have a better squad. And then what Arsenal have to their advantage is they've been together for 2 years now. So you're in a situation where Arsenal should be better prepared for this than any of the other teams because they've been together 2 years. There's less of an excuse for Arsenal than there is Manchester United and Tottenham in relation to that.
Come on now.
But
Those 6 new players haven't been there for 2 years.
I haven't. Hang on a minute. I'm not finished speaking. But the point is one team.
But you're not saying you didn't tell the truth.
Let me finish
my sentence. You'll hear what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Arsenal have been together with this manager, with this system for 2 years. So there should be more of a cohesiveness between them. Spurs have by far and away the better manager, which gives you an advantage. And Man United have the most superior squad. So all three clubs and teams have something over the others. It's about which can make that galvanize the best. So I don't think Arsenal should just be looked at and written off completely. I don't think Spurs should be. I don't think Manchester United should be. I think there is a race and a fight on here to move forward with. There's no doubt about it whatsoever.
Jerry, can I say my point on Tottenham, please, mate?
Yeah, go on.
What I saw today, because I don't really watch them because I'm not a Tottenham fan, but from my point of view, the energy, the closing down, the togetherness, the teamwork, they were hunting in packs. I was impressed. I could see second half they were getting tired, but I think give Conte this season to get their fitness and levels up. I think by the end of the season, they should be up there for the top 4. You know, like a couple of games ago, they should be in contention because from what I saw today, I think out of all of them, West Ham, Arsenal or Tottenham, they're the most likely from what I saw in the game because Conte has got them believing again. He's got their fitness levels up and he's got them. You can see the togetherness on the pitch again now. You can see the connection between Son and Kane again. That was missing for most of the season. It's coming back. So in my opinion, I think Tottenham are semi-favourites for that top 4. I think they should be up there. If they're not, it'll be a disappointing season for them.
I think that's a really, really, really fair point. And I totally get Jesse's point that new players have been added to Arsenal this year and everything else. But they've been together as a collective, this group since the summer, and they've got a manager that's been there a while. I think people are writing them off a little bit too easily. I'm praising Arsenal here. It's a strength to have a togetherness, a system that's been in place where people are all recognizing each other. What happens, you do get new manager bounces, there's no doubt, but you also sometimes get the other end of that where you struggle a little bit as you're learning to integrate things and change things, especially mid-season. So I think all the teams have a genuine opportunity of getting in there. I feel like what you find with a lot of fans at the minute, it's like everybody wants to be looked at as the underdogs, like they won't make it. I found that with football fans a lot recently. Like even in title races, I hear it's almost like everybody is fighting to not be considered in the title race or one of the favourites. I find it very, very strange indeed. Ryan's here, of course, big Tottenham fan. Give me your take on that game, mate. A lot's been said on the show so far. What's your views, mate?
Before I start, Terry, I just want to say, Alan, I dislike you very much, but we'll continue from there.
That's rude.
Yes, Ryan.
That's bad. Yeah.
What? Alan.
No, Alan, you bet this, but you're not behaving.
You know I love you really, Alan. Right, before anyone interrupts me, I can't have anyone interrupt me, right? But let me get my point across before I say it. Let me finish. Kane's wasn't a red card. Robertson's wasn't a red card. That game, that was the best game of the league so far. That was two teams who went at it from second 1 to 90th minute. There was going to be challenges. There was going to be different. Liverpool should have had a penalty. Emerson, that was a Serge Aurier challenge in the box. That was a reckless challenge from Emerson. I think we had a shout for a penalty with Matip on Winks. When he came up quite high, he nudged straight into the back of him. But Sessegnon pocketed. I thought Mo Salah was away for African Cup of Nations today. Sessegnon pocketed.
Exactly.
I thought Salah had gone early today. I thought he'd flown early today just to get a good hotel room. I never thought I would have said this, Terry, before any stream, before anything. I'm actually frustrated that we didn't beat this Liverpool side. today. Liverpool are a phenomenal side. They're a brilliant team. They're title challengers for a reason. They've got unreal players, but with no Van Dijk, no Thiago, no Henderson, no Fabinho, this was the chance to beat them today. We should have taken that chance. The chances Harry Kane had, I can't blame Dele Alli too much because when you look back at the replay, Alisson's there's only a handful of keepers who could have saved that. So I can't blame Dele too much. But the chances we had today, we should have put them to bed quite easily. I mean, Morton, he looks a decent player, but this game, he won't play a Premier League game like this again in his career. This game just turned out to be too much for him with Harry Kane behind him, who practically he bullied him when the ball was in the air. I'm very upset that we didn't win that game today. And under this manager that we've got, if we go through the January window as we should, we will get top four. I'll put money on Tottenham getting top four very easily with this manager.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Obviously, kids happy as well. Listen, I think you should be disappointed as Tottenham fans today. And we've only had a couple of Spurs fans on. No one's really said it yet. You did have the better chances. I'm not going to say you were the better team because that drags up too many. Yeah, but we had the more of this, more of that. The better chances fell to Tottenham, and you should feel disappointed today. You had a lot of decisions go your way. 3 points today. Yes, absolutely right. You should be feeling like that. And I agree with you as well. I think if you get the right signings in January, that could actually push you in front of Man United in terms of favourites because you've got this manager. And I think still too many people are sleeping on the quality of your coach. And it's one of the reasons, when I was mentioning the Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham race, although there is the togetherness with Arsenal, what they don't have is the proven manager. And to a degree, nor the Man United. Like, we have a very good manager. We have a good manager. No one can sit there and say Ralph Rangnick's world class. Anyone does, I think they're mental. He's going upstairs in the summer for a reason. Like, nobody was after him for a top job in Europe. But Spurs have definitely put themselves into a very, very good position indeed. And you just need to get Harry Kane scoring as well, because if he had his shooting boots on today, the game would have been completely different. Ryan, top man for coming on, having your say. I appreciate that, bro. Rack's on the show now with us. What you saying, Rack? And I am going to go to more of your super chat soon. I've been saving them all with the star function, so I'm coming to your super chat soon. Rack's here. What you saying, bro?
Hey, mate. I had my booster jab this morning, so I feel a bit crap. And this game didn't really help my mood. I think we were lucky to come out of it with a draw. To be fair, Spurs had plenty of chances. I think some of the decisions from the referee are questionable, but I don't really like to talk about referee decisions because you get some of them to go for you, some of them go against you. So it is what it is. I just think the reason why we lost was we lacked control, and that predominantly comes from our midfield. And I know what Ram was saying about us playing the high line and all that kind of stuff, but that's how we play. That's how we play all our games. And unfortunately, managers like Klopp and Pep, they don't work. We talked about this last week, I think, Tel. They don't work on plan Bs because they believe so much in their plan A. Why would they put their trust in a plan B that they work on 5 minutes at the end of training every session rather than something they work all their time on? And look, when we don't have some of our starting players playing, like Virgil, for example, and Fab and Thiago, inevitably you're going to miss them. But I also think, if you take Rodri out of Man City, if you take Diaz out of City, then they'll probably be in a similar situation. It's just, obviously, unfortunately, it is what it is. And we live to fight another day. We didn't lose. We're 3 points behind City, but there's still anyone who's like, even last week when Daniel was saying like Chelsea are out of the title race, I thought that was madness, because when you're so close, why would you say open yourself up to that kind of criticism? We're still very much in it. Everything's to play for. I'm still confident.
Yeah, and you should be. Liverpool should be. You've been in this situation before. It's a few points, and it's a top six clash today. Top six clashes, you can afford to lose, because City will lose points in top six clashes between now and the end of the season. I'm very sure of it. So
did City? I think City lost to Spurs, didn't they?
They did.
Chelsea dropping points is different. Chelsea are dropping points at home to teams like Burnley's. They're dropping points at home to Michael Carrick's Man United. Everton playing a younger team than Arsenal have, and at least Arsenal's young team is by design to a degree. This is, Everton didn't want to be doing that. Those kind of dropping of points are, the word unforgivable might be a little bit too harsh, but they will see you fall out of a title race because Chelsea will also drop points in top 6 clashes as well. So
yeah, but when they get their starters, their first team players, the guys they really rely on, some of whom have been out in recent matches, then they'll be back to full strength. And if I was, thank God I'm not a Chelsea fan, but if I was a Chelsea fan, I would feel confident. Why would you not be? I mean, it's crazy.
I hear you on that. A few people are asking me to check David Ornstein's tweets. We've already done that on the show, people. You keep messaging it, but we've already done it. My question to you is, where the hell were you?
Hey, Terry, I've got a question for the panel, mate. I've got a question for the panel. This African Cup of Nations, you think it's going to go ahead because of all this COVID stuff?
I don't know. I really don't know now.
If it doesn't go ahead, then you could say Liverpool have got a good chance. Right, because then we're not losing Salah and Mane.
You've already got a good chance.
No, bro, no, we haven't.
You out on this. Stop trying to play Disney Plus here.
I'm not playing Disney Plus, bro. I'm telling you straight. See the favourites.
You are there or thereabout favourites. You are no one in the top 6 is an underdog ever. We spend too much.
I'm telling you, Man City are going to win. I've told you that from the start, and they've gone ahead and done exactly what I said they would do. They've pushed on.
No, I mean, but Terry, everyone's saying that we're shit, man. Everyone else is saying that we're shit. Like Chelsea fans, City fans say we're shit.
Just banter.
How many times have I told you this before? One, why do you take someone's banter as where you are putting yourself? You know you're not.
But they're saying it, man.
What does it matter?
Banter.
Does it matter?
Matters, man.
You should feel how Spurs fans feel then. Look at the shit we get.
You are crap.
The games we're going to miss.
Oh, wow.
The games we're going to miss Salah and Mane for are Brentford and Palace. Even if
Chelsea.
they go all the way to the final.
And Chelsea.
No, because Chelsea, I think they announced that Chelsea...
No, but they have to leave a week prior to go to Africa.
Yeah, but it depends on... as with most things, it depends on the relationship we have with the FA. Like,
no, I think with AFCON, it's I know that me and Jess were talking about this a little while ago. There's so much money at stake for that tournament on that continent. It's one of those things I get as Prem fans. We're like, a lot of us are desperate for it to end, but we do have to also think about it from their point of view and what it means to them as a continent, what it means to their game of football. And also the players want to be there. Like Mo Salah wants to be at the African Cup of Nations. And I think that's a really important thing to push. Like you kind of get this, like English football fans or fans of the English game, not so much everyone who's doing it are English, but like we're so desperate to see the words cancelled, postponed, or whatever else it may be. But remember that it's going to have to be played. It's not getting played in the summer months. It's not going to get played. At some point, they've got to play it, and it's going to hinder you then as well. Sometimes it's just get it done and out of the way, and then move on from it. We can't keep kicking the can with these tournaments, you know.
FSD spend some money.
It's disrespectful if you think about it, because look, these. I know with England, a lot of England fans don't really. Or a lot of English football fans don't necessarily care too much about England. Liverpool is case in point. You know, a lot of Liverpool fans don't really care too much for England. But for a lot of these other these footballers who live in the UK, who play for these English teams, it's a huge honour to play in the Copa America and AFCON. And it's disrespectful, really, when we put these things down. It's not really.
Do you know what I'm worried about? I mean, I don't know. It's a moral kind of thing. Is whether the club actually makes an injunction of not letting them go to play for AFCON.
Well, they can't do that. I don't think they can.
But I think they might do that, and they'll become a whole moral thing.
Be it on their club's heads, because as we've said already, that I guarantee you, if you look at Liverpool's point of view, is Mane going? I don't know which country.
Mane, Salah, Keita, and.
I would love to be a fly on the wall for that meeting where they say we're banning you from going to that tournament, because I think it could damage Liverpool. That could be more detrimental to Liverpool's season than the missing couple of games, and you can't be making people do that, because then you'll get calls for, well, what happens if come the World Cup, if clubs start saying, no, we're going to ban you from going as well. Like once you've set the precedent, you can never allow those things to come in. The club should not be able to dictate like that at all.
So Terry, can I say something, right? Because there's all this banter, whatever. I'm keeping it real. I say my opinions. My opinion is, right, based on what I've seen so far in the league, we're a cup team, Liverpool. We're more likely to win the Champions League or a cup this season than the league, because we've got too many issues in certain positions in our team. So I'm not trying to bottle it and say, oh no, we should be favourites. I'm keeping it real. If I thought we had a chance, I'd pick the thing up. Of course I would, Bruce, man. But I'm telling you real.
You're a cup team. Liverpool, Champions League team, maybe. I'm about to say cup team's a bit of a push because Klopp don't try and win those
Champions
trophies.
League, bro. I think we're more chance of winning the Champions League.
A knockout team.
Yeah, we're good in knockout competitions.
What am I listening to?
This is what I don't understand. I'm a Spurs fan, right? And all I hear from Liverpool fans, Man City fans, well, actually, it's hard to find Man City fans on social media, but yeah, Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, etc. They always say we're not favourites. If I was a fan of either one of your clubs and I was I'd be like, we're favourites for the title.
Yeah, but Alec, when has your club ever challenged for anything? I'm asking a genuine question.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if I was a fan of Liverpool, that means nothing. I'm saying if I was a Liverpool fan,
we know the level of our squad, and compare it to Manchester City is nowhere near the level.
As a Liverpool fan, and I said this to Chelsea.
I didn't hear this at the beginning of the season.
I said this to Jem. I said this to.
I didn't hear this at the beginning of the season. No, when I tried to tell you, when I tried to say anything, no, we're so strong, we're right up there. You guys are just counting us out. What happened to everybody? Always counts us out. Everybody always counts us out. What happened to that?
Ram, that wasn't.
What's going on?
I'm sick and tired of that. That isn't. She said that we were talking contextually about who could miss out what point. All Jess said is if there was major injuries like last year, she could see it. There hasn't been major injuries, so nothing she said is wrong. Like, stop twisting her words.
But there's going to be injuries. We're going to have injuries.
But what I'm trying to say is that, like, just a couple of weeks ago, you guys were like, you guys are counting us out. Like, remember? You guys, it was just a couple of weeks ago when you guys were smashing people 4-0 back to back. It was
on Friday night on Terrace, and basically the Chelsea fans were laughing at the fact that Liverpool could even challenge. So I'm not you specifically.
You guys are title challengers. You're not out.
I know.
We're not out. We're not saying we're out.
Let me ask Terry a question. Right?
Otherwise, you're right in there.
Terry, answer this question, right? About City. They've won the title 3 of the last 4 years, right? And the times they've won it, we've been contending with them. Have they not consistently beaten us when it's a close race or when they've gone ahead? The only time we slapped them was the so-called COVID season. So even the history of
Zain, I get your question, but the point, what you're sort of saying, it's okay, I think, for you to say, I think City are favourites in front of us, but you're talking like we're not even involved. We're just a cup team.
We're going to be second, bro. I'm not wasting energy on coming second, bro. What's the point? I'm not going to get gassed about coming second.
Like what does that mean, wasting energy? What does that mean, wasting energy?
What you're doing for me,
football club.
No, but Zain, what you're doing for me is very obvious. It's so clear. It's as clear as a window.
My opinion that we're not going to win the league.
No, I don't know. I don't think that's what you are doing. I think you're
that's what I'm doing, bro.
I think you're playing it down like it's an impossibility, and then if it happens, you can be like, get Disney signed up. This is the underdog story.
No, bro.
You're twisting it, though. I'm not saying City are not favourites in front of you. I'm not saying City are not favourites in front of you. That's a fair claim to make, but you're acting like right now, 17, 18 games into the season, it's an impossibility that Liverpool win.
Has anyone said it's impossible to win the league?
No, you're implying it.
Ram,
because you're saying clear favourites. I don't think it's clear at all.
Ram, but you've just sat there and gone, yeah, we're a knockout team only. He's just sat there and said we've got no chance of winning the league.
No, I think we're going to win the league, but it's more of a chance of us winning the Champions League than the Premier League.
You think you're going to win the league? How are you sitting there disagreeing with me?
I never said. Wait. Hang on. You're twisting it, man.
How am I twisting it?
No.
How am I twisting that? I think Liverpool got a great chance. How am I being suddenly turned into a hater of Liverpool by saying you've got a good chance of winning the league?
We're not saying you're a hater.
We're not favourites at all, but I think we can win it.
No.
Listening to Ram.
Chelsea,
we're not saying you're hating, man.
Did you not say Chelsea were favourites at the start of the season? That was your opinion, right? That was your opinion. No one's having a go at you because you're changing it now, is it?
No, Zain. Listen to what I actually said. I can have favourites, but did I say that Chelsea would run away with it and none of you would come anywhere near them?
You said they were the favourites for the team. They're the strongest squad, and I feel they're going to win the league. That's what you said, bro.
Let's go back again. I've said all along, I think a handful of points can separate the top 3. I think you are all brilliant sides. Don't sit here and try and twist it into Terry. You said Chelsea were going to run away with the league title. Never said that for a single second. And if Chelsea bottle it, if Chelsea fall away, if Chelsea start losing, call my prediction is wrong. But at no point have I said that Liverpool or City would be out of this title race. My only concern for Liverpool was if you had long-term major injuries, I didn't know if you'd be able to compete. And you've all confirmed that today by stating when your midfield's out, you leak goals. So if you, for instance, lost your midfield for the rest of the season, I think we'd all be in universal agreement that you probably won't win the league. So I don't understand because I predicted Chelsea, that means I can't think Liverpool have a chance. That's again, we are not 3 years old at school.
We're not saying that we have no chance of winning.
Let me say my opinion about what I'm saying is at this current stage, from what I've seen with Liverpool and how they've been playing and how leaky they've been, even though we won games, and the fans in the chat like, you're not a real Liverpool fan. Look, we won the game. Shut up. How can you say that? From what I see with my eyes, I don't think we're challenging for the title because of the issues I've talked about. The midfield.
You're on your own. You're on your own.
I think we're more likely to win the cup. We're likely to win the cup.
Do you think there's a 100% chance that City are going to win the league?
I'd say not 100%. Nothing can be 100%, but they're probably they're, like I said, the favourites, and I'm sure the Bigs are the favourites. Yeah, I just think, from my point of view, from what I've seen so far of Liverpool this season, there's a lot of shit that's got to go right for us and wrong for other clubs for us to have that opportunity. Okay. From what I've seen, and that's my opinion. Maybe later on.
I'm not saying. I still think we're going to challenge. I still think we're going to be about 5 or 6 points.
You said challenge, but you're not going to win. Are you confident we're going to win?
No, because City's squad is so much better, and there's so much debt at winning the league. I think our best chance is the Champions League, but I still think we're going to challenge.
But my word's getting twisted now, bro. I don't know. I've said Champions League is our best.
I'm confused now. I'm so confused.
Zain, you're not saying the same thing as Ram. Ram thinks they've got a chance of winning the league. He thinks City are marginal favourites and they can win the Champions League. You said, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't think we're going to win the league. We're basically a cup team. You and Ram are not saying the
Champions
same
League or a cup. Yeah, I think that's more likely.
Look, I'm trying to pull you out, bro, but you're just too far deep, bro. You're too far deep. You're too far deep.
I don't business, bro. You can clip this, whatever. I'm telling you, we're more likely to win the Champions League or a cup competition. The league, it's probably like 20% chance because I just think City have just got the pedigree and they're just such a well-run machine. When they start get going, that's it. After Christmas, they just go. And that's happened for the past 3-4 seasons, right? So unless a lot of mad shit happens, unless like the F1, someone comes in and messes Hamilton up or City up and lets us try and win it, then fair enough. But if that's a miracle going to happen, bro. So that's what I'm going on, right? I'm not saying we can never win it.
The way you're making it sound is that Man City are clear of everyone and it's just going to be a cakewalk to the league. It's not like that at all. How is it like that? It's 4 points.
And nobody said that at the beginning of the season. That was not what was said at the beginning of the season.
Over half the season left to go. Over half of it.
No, I think, Jess, to be fair, in terms of what Liverpool fans were saying, I think we said that, look, we've got the best first 11 in the league, in my opinion. I still stand by that. I think in terms of the first 11, starting 11, we have the best team. We don't have the strongest squad, but I was 100% certain we were going to challenge. And I'm pretty sure that's probably reflective of most Liverpool fans from what I gather. I don't think any sensible Liverpool fan was sitting here saying that 100% we're going to win the league. But I still think we've got a really good chance. We're 3 points behind, guys. And it's halfway through the season.
You know how our fan base was like when we were like 4 points behind Chelsea. We said no chance. Yep, no chance of winning the league. Yep.
You know what your fan base does that. Your fan base you guys like to play the underdog card. It's obvious. Like do you know how you know that? Because if rivals say you've got no chance, they get what? Because that's your real belief coming out when you're poked. If everybody sat here saying what Zain was saying, Liverpool fans would come for them. That's your true belief. But what you guys do is you try to be publicly quite modest and play down how good you are as an example. But I think Zain, my belief is I think Zain thinks his team is a lot better than he's making out.
They're not going to win the league, bro. Champions League, I guarantee we're going to do well in the Champions League. I've got a good chance. I'm more confident about the Champions League than the league. And that's what I am. And tell me if I'm wrong.
Are you favourites for that?
Huh?
Are you favorites for that?
I think we're favorites.
Yeah, I
Are
think
you
we're
favorites for the
that.
Champions League?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
One of
from
the no with
performances we've
Bayern
done-
Munich. With Bayern
You
Munich.
gotta be
We're
favorites
fine.
for something.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
too
well,
biased.
What I love about the internet though is how people hear what they hear. The City
Yeah.
fan says Terry, but you said it was disrespectful to Chelsea for Man City to be title favourites. No, I said weeks ago it was disrespectful to Chelsea and Liverpool to write them off and say that they're just going to win it easily. See, again, I don't know why you've heard that so different. Someone else says, Terry, you said that Liverpool would finish fifth. That isn't true. I said that if Liverpool had major injuries this year, I still think they would finish top four. They just wouldn't challenge for the title. At no point.
I put a little extra on it and said that they might fall at the top. I put a little extra on it.
But just get this out of my mouth. Sorry, guys. At no point have I said Liverpool would. I personally have said Liverpool would finish outside the top four. So I don't know where some of you were getting this from. But again, that's what you've probably done is cognitive dissonance has kicked in. As I've said something you don't quite agree with, like Liverpool may not win the league if they get a few injuries. So you've stopped listening to the rationale. Well, Terry said we're finishing 12th. Like, I don't know. It's random. We have a super chat here that says, I've been a member of the football team for 22 months, and Terry said Liverpool were going to win the league the season there that they won. I was laughing last season. Liverpool finished top. Liverpool are going to win the league. Dinesh, Dinesh and a lot of Liverpool fans that follow this channel know how fair I am with Liverpool when their performance is warranted. I've got a few more super chats I've got to do here that I have missed. If Liverpool are so bad, then shame on Chelsea with their best squad depth and system that you are below them. City are favourites, rest are challengers. Dinesh here says we might lose our front two, but we've still got our back five and our midfield. We just need other players to score. Leverkusen's as in excuses, FC and Oil Shitty are annoying.
Where's it United? It was so weird, bro.
These names. I don't get the whole Jota stopped. He was stopped from taking a shot. How many games do you see a player slowing down or stopping to shoot and score? A lot, to be honest with you, B. The way Jota and Dele Alli tried to get their penalties, I think it's so obvious in the game. It's you go to run, you stop, and you wait for the contact. People do it all over the pitch, and I'm never a fan of those styles.
Sorry, Terry, just on that, because I obviously, my boys are to set yourself a good shot, you have to slow yourself down and set yourself. That's what these strikers were trying to do. And then obviously, that's what happens.
Bro, you don't do it flat-footed, and then when they get hit, the way they then arc their legs and arc their back, like they're in.
No. That's because they felt the contact. If the defender left them alone, they would have took the shot. So they have to push them. But
you don't fall down the way. I've always said this. If you've watched the terrace long enough, I've called for my own players. You never fall down in life with your back arched and your legs in the air like this. That's not a natural way to fall.
Yeah. That's because they felt the touch and they're paying for the penalty rather than take the shot. That's basically that.
That's my words. Simulation. That's what simulation is.
But I'm saying it's natural for a player to slow down.
It's natural for them to simulate.
This isn't a Liverpool attack. I say it about all footballers. They all do it. And I stopped talking about diving on the terrace 3 or 4 years ago because I said until fans are willing to have a go at their own players, I didn't want to hear about it. And that's been my mantra now. If you've watched my show long enough, you know that's the mindset I have towards it because it's just like my club has loads of divers. Arsenal have divers, Liverpool have divers, Chelsea have divers. Everyone has divers. Everyone has simulators.
Just criticize defenders. It's so much more easier. Just saying, don't be stupid. That's it.
Just sparked my spliff. Loving the show. Search Thai boxing. How the hell do you kick that high? I used to be able to when I was younger. Now I think I'd break something. Doesn't the major injuries apply to everyone? So Aiden, this is what happens when people twist our words from 5 months ago and then we're having to explain without context. Of course, everybody can be impacted by major injuries. But if your team is deep squad-wise, like City, and you get 2 major injuries, that damages you a lot less than if your squad is smaller with the same amount of injuries. The percentage of your first team and your better players out is a lot bigger. That's all we were talking about in the summer.
And it's because we had seen it as well. Because last season, I know you guys were probably shocked. I was shocked at what I was seeing, the injuries, the way that you guys were playing. And even today, having some of your players out, you guys are completely different. So I don't feel like I'm saying anything that's like a different language. I just feel like you didn't like what I was saying because it felt bad. Actually, I just want to set this straight really quick. I think Liverpool when they're on it, are the scariest team to play. I don't ever want to play them. I never try to take anything away from them. I think they're much more fun to watch than Man City. Great team. I don't have an agenda. I just think since I saw it before and everybody else saw it, I didn't think it was like that weird to say that if you guys don't have your main 11, that layer right underneath is just not as good. It's just not. And with the other teams, I thought Man United would be better. I'll say that for sure. I did. But I thought that they had a deep squad. Chelsea obviously has a deep squad. Man City has one. So I was just putting two and two together. I wasn't trying to shade you guys at all.
One thing I probably disagree. I think the layer of players that we have are of that standard, but it's just that the likes of Keita, Ox, and these players, they just don't stay fit. They always get injured. So they're like, what's the point of them being that protective layer if it's made out of glass?
I think what I found really interesting is that we weren't alone though. Liverpool fans aplenty were kicking off that you guys didn't buy enough in the summer, and I remember that across again. So this is what's weird. You were kicking off because you didn't buy enough in the summer. And then suddenly it's like, actually, we are strong enough beneath the surface. We were being led by a lot of Liverpool fans that would and you always are led by rivals to a degree when they talk to you about their club. Hussein was coming on furious that Liverpool didn't buy more players. So it isn't a fair stretch to say 2 or 3 of the wrong injuries. And sometimes you don't know who the right or wrong injuries are until the season begins. Because say it was Mane scoring lots of goals this season and not Salah. Losing Salah wouldn't be as bad as it is now. Like you saw today as an example, Salah wasn't in the game today. He was taken out by Spurs. His situational. You weren't as good going forward because you take the best attacking player in European football out of a game and you improve your chances of winning or getting a result. That's just basic football. So didn't Jota dive? He stood. I'm not saying he dived. I'm just saying listen to my words here and you'll see it on other shows. I'm not a fan of those types of penalties. I think they're clumsy from the defenders, but I think the attacking player is waiting for that contact, and I just don't like them. I don't like that foul at all. You know, do you know the biggest annoyance for me? It's not a penalty; it's a foul. 6'6" centre back, built like a brick shithouse, shadowing the ball, and then somebody's Jota's size nudges him in the back, and he falls over, and the refs give fouls for that. Yeah. How on God's green earth can someone Jota's size push over someone Konate's size? Now I know they're different. Play for the same team, but I'm giving you a size thing here. It's mad. Those instantly, the defender should be booked for simulation instantly because there's no way you go down that easily. You get pushed harder on the fucking tube. Last season was crazy with injuries, though. It was, and we weren't talking about Liverpool having last season's level of injuries. It wasn't. Again, it's so hard. Go back and watch the Bet Victor shows from back in August. If you watch it, you'll see what was said, and I'm telling you, none of you are going to go, "That's crazy." You'll go, that makes sense based on the type of conversation we were having. So relax about it.
I think my comment at the start of the season before a ball was kicked is I said of all the teams at the top 4, if this was including Man United, the team must see falling out if they had the same level of injuries or close to was Liverpool because they hadn't bought enough into to replenish the team. And the first game with a couple of key people missing. And to be fair, let's be honest, I know we've been out, Spurs haven't played with COVID. The level of Liverpool's team against our team, with the seasons we've had, you should have walked us today, but you've had a couple of players out and you should have done. This was a great performance by us, but I'll be honest, the level of Liverpool's team is far superior to our team.
We are lucky you have a couple of people out. Bro. You should have won that game, bro. You dropped 2 points, bro.
I think
I'm aware that was my first sentence we dropped 2, but if everything being well, you have a far superior team, so more often than not, you should.
We know who it is now, though, right? It's Fabinho and Virgil van Dijk. I think when those two are out, Thiago, and God forbid something happens to Mo Salah. I think those are the ones that if they're out, it's done. Like
there's communist Merseyside fans, right?
I'd say Zain though. Zain, you were right. You're right in hindsight. In hindsight, like you weren't in this game, and Spurs should have won. But I don't remember seeing a Liverpool fan in the build-up to this game say it.
Yeah,
so that's what Alan's.
Did you ask me, Terry? Did you ask me? Because if you did, I would have said to you, I'm a bit concerned depending who we got in the midfield. You never asked me. You asked me.
Terry.
Concerned. That's very different from saying Spurs should be walking away as winners. No Liverpool fan I saw on socials said, I think we'll be lucky to get a draw in this game against Tottenham. No one said that. Come on, let's not rewrite.
I was in the space last night, and every single one who, like all the Liverpool fans, were like, "So no one's giving Spurs a shot." Nope, that's fine. What's the score prediction? 4-0 Liverpool, 3-0 Liverpool, 4-0 Liverpool. No one person, even on space today, not one person.
No, I
I
mean,
said I'll take a draw, but not one person said Spurs have a
I'm
chance.
telling you,
I mean,
if I saw the lineup, I would have told you we're not going to get. We're not going to.
now even when I saw the
Why are
lineup, I
people
still
so
thought we
obsessed
could
with
scrape it.
predicting how a game is going to go? Like,
That's
even
the thing,
if that's
true.
correct, Zain, like, what difference does it make? Like, okay, yeah, you would have been able to predict that
because it backs up my argument that I don't think we're going to win the league.
based
That's
on one
why
game.
I care. That's what I
Based on
care.
this one game.
Yeah, and also what I don't like about these communist Merseyside fans, right? These fake
I allow
fans, right?
that.
No, right? No, I'm gonna
Stop
call
it,
it out.
because
Right?
Terry-
I'm
no,
gonna
'cause
no,
Terry's
I'm
gonna
gonna
have
say
a
I don't
field
care
day.
about these people, man. These fake fans are like trying to tell me I'm not a
How
fake
are
fan.
they-
I'll
how are
be
they
supporting
freaking real?
club. Hold on, let
How
me
are they
land.
freaking
Let me
real?
land.
You're
You.
coming.
Let me land, right? Mane, right? I've been going hard on Mane all season, bro. All season about Mane, right? Salah's getting double teamed and getting pocketed because what he did today. I keep saying Jota keeps doing his business. I have no problem with Jota. I've never called that Jota. I've been consistent on Mane. Step up, bro. Because if Salah's done, what are you going to do, bro? Nothing.
Today he was our most dangerous attacker today.
Yeah,
he was our
to
most
be
dangerous
fair,
attacker.
whereas Salah was quiet and
because of him.
Mane caused us all sorts of
assist or
problems.
goal? Did he get assist or goal? No, I don't care what his. Yeah, he's done the thing.
Did Salah?
If any people notice, his final pass was atrocious, bro.
Salah was
Final pass was
anonymous
atrocious.
today.
If he had got good final pass, where's the assist on this? Where's the assist? Where's the one in assist column? He did not get assist. No,
he did.
Wait,
he did for Robertson.
Zain, Salah was playing like he didn't want to catch COVID today, but playing that far away from everyone. He didn't want any of it.
Mane got an assist.
No, Mane didn't get an assist. He got a pass to assist.
Okay, got it.
I think
Mane got a pass to assist.
I thought Mane passed it to Jota, but somebody else.
Mane passed it to Robertson, and Robertson.
All right, so all you fans out there about Mane, because let's keep it real about this communist Merseyside fans, right?
Listen, it's been a great show.
No.
Zain, you
Mane, man.
Oh, so-and-so fans, you're real. I'm a real fan, you're a fake fan.
I'm a fake fan because I don't like Mane. Bollocks that. Output, bro.
I didn't know Liverpool fans had problems like this. This is nice.
Oh, no, you can't talk about Mane, bro. You can't talk about Mane in a bad way. Yeah, come for you in the chat, bro. The communist, bro. No. You must love Mane. And what if you laugh, right, about these men as well, right? When you the first person to see, what happened, bro? They're like, one season wonder.
Zain, chill.
Zain, are you done?
Chill, it's
Zain, guess what
it's
now,
Christmas.
Bro?
Chill. Go and have a hot chocolate. Just chill. It's
cut his mic, man.
Terry. All I'm gonna say, right? I was right. That's
about
it.
what?
About getting a midfielder and getting a forward. That's it. I was right.
What?
And Sal was a bum as well. You should have got Sabitzer instead. I was right.
Actually, I thought about that the other day, and I was like, you might have been right on that one. But then at the same time, Saul just looks cold. Saul just looks cold. He looks cold.
No,
like,
but to be fair, I need to take the L on Sabitzer because apparently he's falling out with Nagelsmann. So yeah,
really?
Also,
let's talk about it later.
You can't really claim that because for you to be right, Sabitzer would have to be in this country in a different club doing well. It's a bit like, it's funny.
No, but that's why I said I had to take the L.
I'll give you an example. So obviously last night started trending again, the whole Kai Havertz and Smith Rowe thing again. And I saw a few people message George and say, George, you were right. And I'm kind of like, on the Kai Havertz thing, I'm like, in the short term, yeah, maybe he'll get proven as right. But let's not forget the context of the overall conversation. For George to be right, Emil Smith Rowe has to become one of the top 10 players in the world. That was the actual conversation. So you can win. What I would say to you is you might be right in the short term that Sal hasn't done very well in England, but until Sabitzer is here and killing it, you can't really claim you're right. That's the actual argument. You said Sabitzer would do better here than Sal Niguez. You don't know that.
For Liverpool,
but he ain't here, so you don't know. You can't be right if you ain't proven it. You know what I mean?
No.
That's the maddest one for me. But we'll see if Smith Rowe gets to those levels. He could. I hope he does for England anyway. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Do me a Hassan, I put your super chat up on the screen, bro. But I will read it out for you as well. He said here, I don't understand if Liverpool lose 4 or 5 players, every team is the same. Take City's best 5 out and Chelsea will not be.
I don't know about City.
But again, it's very hard to go back and drag up a conversation from 6-7 months ago. We were talking about, and one of the reasons why Liverpool came up is because Van Dijk was only just returning. How would his it was contextual to how will his knee hold up and everything else that's going on, and the fact that Liverpool squad, according to Liverpool fans, is thinner than Chelsea and cities at the time. I think Liverpool fans have changed their mind somewhat about the strength of their squad. I think the likes of Divock Origi coming in and doing well, Naby Keita staying a little bit more fit, Thiago going up to another level this year. I think all these things have made Liverpool fans a little bit more confident.
Don't
with their
forget,
squad.
Matip hasn't got an injury yet.
Matip's not been injured all year, which is again shock. There's all these little things have kind of come into play here, which has changed it. But go back and listen to what was going on at the time. That's what I'm saying, people. It made sense. As a Man City fan, I will not sleep for as long as Liverpool are 3 points behind us. They are still in it, and the title is racing still on.
Get some sleep, man.
And ZAIN in the mud. ZAIN in the mud. Listen, smash that like button before you leave, people. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.